All right, YouTube, this is Hellscape Paranormal. My name is Joseph. So we're out here in the tinkering department. So, REM pods. We actually purchased a REM pod. There should be a pop-up there for you guys. This is a tool that we use for ghost detection. It lets us know something is there and we can actually interact with it. We can ask it to manipulate the machine, gives us a sound, LED light. And this one here's a do-it-yourself model. This here's 20 bucks in parts. Okay, made out of PVC, wood, and of course all electronics. Now, what we've done, we've taken one of those Amazon doorbell door handle alarms. Should be a pop-up there for you. This thing's running about 11 bucks, and we gutted it and we added our own special stuff in here. And we're going to do the build for you, kind of show you what we're doing here. So this thing here, I mean, works very well. Turn on switch, lets us know that something is there manipulating this. Telescope and antenna makes it much easier to actually pick up things. And of course, your body produces its own electric current, and which is suggested that ghosts and spirits can actually use that electricity, because that's how they operate, and set up your machine. So let's go ahead and get into the build. Okay, so this is the base of our REM pod that we designed. Inside here is a 9-volt battery with a 9-volt battery attachment. I do have a switch on and off switch wired in. We run no wires on the outside of this. We probably could have drilled a straight hole, but it just looks so much cooler with that on the outside. So we got our positive and our negative from our 9-volt battery. And we went ahead and tinned all of our wires for this whole project. If you don't know what tinning is, it's where you take your bare wire ahead of time and you go ahead and solder a little piece of solder on each one of these. Makes it easier to work with, especially when you're dealing with circuit boards. So with the circuit board, this is the one that came out of these door alarms. Now you can replace the original speaker. This speaker is actually very loud. I like it, so we left it on. But you can actually just replace this and get a different type of speaker if you want to. We have our speaker right here. You notice there's two solder points on this board. Okay, the one down here on the bottom is our hot. That's why we got the hot wire connected right here. And then we have the negative here. This is our black. So if you're looking at the speaker itself, let's turn it around. Our positive is actually going to the center of the speaker. The negative is going on the outside. Also, we took our antenna. This is what goes around the door handle. We cut it, we split it. The reason being is because we have an antenna we're mounting. I've got wire already soldered into the antenna itself, and we'll actually mount this together. Both wires connected, and we're going to be placing that down in here. I've already got glue on this because it makes it so much easier just to heat it up again and just stick it right onto the side of the REM pod. So to get this off the ground though, I'm going to be using just a regular T. I'm going to put this down here. We're going to glue that in right there on the bottom, and this way we can actually put our circuit board securely on it. One of the things I'm going to show you with the circuit board, I'm hoping this is coming in. Let me double check. Yeah, it looks like it is. Right here, you got an on and off switch. Make sure you have it in the on position before you do all this. This should be all the way up towards the antenna. That is your on switch. So we're going to put that down in here. We're going to secure it, and this way it's not bouncing around the circuit board. So with that, we try not to use too much hot glue. There is some hot glue on the frame itself. We're probably going to be popping that off and actually epoxying it or JB Weld. This mount was originally, when I first did it, I used hot glue, and then I just went ahead and run my screws straight through this thing. That way it's a good mount on the battery. But we are going to glue this down here in the bottom. That way we have a good base to work with, and we're going to make sure that we keep our room for our antenna to go in as well, because that's going to be going in. We could run it right there, actually, right there on the outside. It should give us enough room up top, so that'd be perfect. So we'll grab our hot glue gun. I'm going to glue the bottom of this. If you got a different type of base you want to use, hey, more power to you. You do whatever it is that you want to. We're going to glue that down, and we're going to take our circuit board, and we've got to solder on our positive and negative corner right here. The far outside is the negative, and that is our positive. That is going to the battery right here. So before we mount it, we're going to go ahead and hook all this up, solder it in, and then we're going to set this down and mount it onto this PVC pipe right here. We're just going to put some hot glue down, stick it right on it. It'll be fine. With the speaker, we're just going to mount onto the side of the box, or as I originally had it, we're going to mount it right underneath the bottom. Also, on our speaker lighting, our speaker wires, we've got a negative and positive. That is going to be for our LED. Let us know that something is touching it along with the sound. We also get a light visual. So let's go ahead and solder up our hot negative. Now, like I said, these are already tinned, so we just have to set it in position. Makes life so much easier when you're doing your circuitry. You can add a little more solder on there if you want. There we go. Now let's put this back on. Perfect. And now we got our negative. Add some more solder to that one as well. Perfect. So now our battery is connected. So everything is good there. I'm not worried about having to tape anything on that because it's soldered in place. We're going to position our wiring down, just like that right there. And we'll glue that down so it doesn't bounce around. Makes life so much easier. Okay, so we have our LED. This is actually going to go on the base of our top, so we do have a visual light. With the LEDs, your shorter leg, make sure we're in focus here. You got two legs. You got a long leg and a short leg. That short leg, that's your negative. All right, so let's go ahead and get our wiring for our LED here. Get my soldering. Since I'm not using one of those nice little arms, that makes soldering so much easier. We're just going to do it this way. We're going to set it down. I'm going to grab some solder here. We're going to tin the LED foot. All right, let's get the negative side too. All right, grab our positive. So much easier when you actually do have one of those little control arms, little stationary stands. Add some solder in this. Let it cool. All right, that'll work. We'll get our negative wire for our LED. We'll do the exact same. And these can be bent much easier for you. I know my hands are probably right in the way of everything, and that's quite all right. I can't see it with the camera way over there. I'm trying to hold my wires down. There we go. And my power wire for my soldering iron is way over there too. All right, that has our LED took care of. Now we need to mount this on our board, which Easily done. We'll just use some super glue, not super glue, hot glue. Put along the base, just like that right there. Alright, so we got our circuit board here. We just glued that down. We got our antenna soldered up. I believe we're going to move the speaker actually onto the side of the REM-Pod here. That'd be a good spot for it. Alright, that's perfect right there. We'll put some hot glue over there for the speaker. Lock that in place. And we're doing the same thing with the antenna, making sure that is in position there as well. Alright, so we actually got the build complete. All I have to do is, we could actually shorten up these wires if we wanted to, but let's test this out right fast. Turn on the power. Very nice. And of course it's a telescoping antenna. So we could actually shorten these wires down to the LED just to free up some space if we wanted to, or leave it long so we can actually take the top off whenever we want to. We will be using hot glue, of course, to seal it up. I might design something with a screw top for PVC, and that'd make it a lot easier if there's a screw top. If we did that, we'd just move the antenna into the actual lid itself. So that's something we can actually work on into the future. But as of right now, this will work just fine. Let me get all these things put down in here. So, you can definitely tell if something's holding on to it or gets close with it. Very nice. Turn that off. So this is a very simple build. All the parts, you know, if you actually break it down to the parts themselves, under 20 bucks, but when you're buying things, they always come in large sets, LEDs, wiring, things like that. So you can actually play around with this whole idea. This is a test one that we're building. I'm going to do some new designs with the PVC pipe, easy access caps and stuff like that. So it'd be easier to do maintenance and repairs on these things as well, instead of all this hot glue. Because let's face it, all the hot glue, I'm not a fan of. So I do know there are some PVC screw pipe tops and stuff like that we can do. And yeah, when we get this thing all ironed out, it's going to be pretty great. But these things here, like I said, under 20 bucks. The REM-Pod themselves, we ordered one of those. They're $179. Those things right there. Now the REM-Pods themselves that you buy for $179 does have other functions. You got more LEDs, and you can actually tell the spirits, whatever it is that you're in communication with, which lights you want them to light up. So there's that. This here is just one LED, and when it comes into contact with it, it lets you know something's in the area. All right, so it works pretty well. Not bad.